Hello everyone, I'm Heading Tian. I got a very good question from you that's about absolute value inequalities. So let's start from absolute value. What is the absolute value? For example, if I have an absolute value, uh, so if I have an absolute value of x and equals 5, absolute value means the distance from x to 0. So if I draw a number line, so here is 0, and then if it's equals to 5, so 5, and that means the distance from the x to the 0 here to here is 5. So x could be 5. And also, if I choose x equals -5, from -5 to 0 is also 5. So distance means the positive value. So that means the x equals -5 and +5 all give me the distance equals 5. So the x could be +5 or -5 because the absolute value means the distance. If I have this, I have absolute value of x less than 5. Okay, I still draw the same number line here, 0, here's 5, here's -5. That means the x is the absolute value of x is the distance from a point to 0 is less than 5. That means I can choose a point here, 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 here. So the distance from here to 0 is less than 5. And also I can choose a point from here. So the point here to 0 is less than 5. The distance is less than 5. That means the x could be any point between -5 and +5. And 5 and -5, they are not included because here it doesn't have an equal sign. Here it doesn't have an equal sign. So I can use how to draw it on the number line. So I can use parentheses to contain this interval and then highlight between -5 and 5. That means I can choose any number between -5 and 5. I use the interval notation. I use parentheses, -5 and 5. That means I could choose a point between -5 and 5. Here's some practice. Let's a is greater than 0 if absolute value of x is less than a, then a is greater than -a and less than a. That means x is between, so between -a and +a, because the distance from the x to 0 is less than a. And if I choose example, absolute value of t is less than or equal to 3, that means it has a chance equal to 3. So if I draw a number line, here is 0, here is -3 and +3. So t is between -3 and +3. Since it has equal sign, that means it has a chance equal to the it has a chance equal to -3 and +3. So we use brackets. And then when we are using interval notation, we have brackets, -3, +3. The next one, if absolute value of t is less than or equal to -3, so you still draw a number line. And then think about this. The absolute value is the distance. Can it be a negative number? No, because absolute value is always a positive, or at least it can be 0, because the point 0 to the 0 point, the distance is 0. But now it says less than or equal to -3. That means there's no solution, or this is an empty set. Fine. So next part is, so this one is not hard to solve. So if I have absolute value of x minus 1 is less than or equal to 2, that means the absolute value, this value is between, sorry. So this one, the distance from x minus 1 to 0 is less than 2. So x minus 1 is between -2 and +2. So we solve the x. We add 1 on 3 sets. We got -1 less than x and less than 3. So when you are drawing number line, so x is between -1 and 3. So we use parentheses because 3 and the -1, they are not included. And then highlight the interval between them. And we use parentheses, -1 and 3 to express the interval notation. So next one is the same. And next part, let's see. If the absolute value of x is greater than a. So this is the question I got from you. So let's see. The absolute value of x is greater than a. So let's do the review. If the absolute value of x is, where is it? Sorry. The absolute value of x is less than a. That means the distance from x to 0, x to 0 is less than a. So negative a, positive a. So x could be here. But now is greater than a. So 0 is here. Negative a, positive a. So x could be here. And then from a point here to 0, the distance is greater than a. Or I choose a point here, the distance from here to 0 is greater than a. Oh, that means I can choose a point here, or I can choose a point here. Okay, the smallest number is -infinity. The greatest number is infinity. So interval notation, I could write -infinity and -a parentheses because -a is not included, and union a to the positive infinity because I can only choose a point here and here. For example, if x is greater than 6, that means if I use this number line here, so I find the -6 and find the +6. So the x could only be the point here and then the point here. Then the distance from here to 0, the distance from here to here is greater than 6. So any point here to the 0 is greater than 6. So the interval notation should be the smallest one is -infinity and then -6 parentheses. Union means or. I can also choose another part, the 6 to the infinity. So this is the interval notation. Okay, let's see next one. The absolute value of x is greater than -6. So for all the absolute value, that's a positive or equal to 0 number. So if absolute value of x is greater than -6, that's for sure. That means it has all solutions. So any point can be x satisfy that absolute value is greater than -6. So I could choose -infinity to infinity. And then let's solve another one. So this one, if absolute value of x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 4, that means the x minus 1 has two interval because find -4 and 4. So x minus 1 could be here. X minus 1 could be here. So we can write the interval in two parts. So x minus 1 is less than or equal to -6, or x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 4. So solve them separately. So add 1 both sides. X is less than or equal to -3, and add 1 both sides. X is greater than or equal to 4. So draw them separately. So, not separately. I'd better draw them on the same number line. Okay, find -3, find 4. So it's less than or equal to -3. So -3 is included. We use brackets and highlight this part because less than. And x is greater than or equal to 4. It means we're choosing this part. So the interval notation is -infinity to -3 and brackets. Union the absolute value of, union brackets 4 to infinity, and then close the parentheses. So that's how we solve the x if the absolute value is greater than a number. Okay, I hope this video is helpful.